When this video goes live, that means we are on the plane to Antarctica, or maybe even have already landed on the blue ice runway in Antarctica. So, yesterday was the first day where I started to really feel anxiety and nerves. We are here, we've made it. We are going to fly to Antarctica. Lots to update everyone on. First and foremost, ALE picked up our bags yesterday, which is important because those bags are going to be going underneath the plane. They're not going to be reachable or accessible on the flight. And so they made it very clear which layers we need to wear on the plane, which layers we need to take in our carry on, layers of clothing, and then everything else needs to go underneath the plane. Super cool and also very interesting. So they really only want us to wear one layer, kind of a mid-weight layer on the plane. But as we get close to Union Glacier, they actually stop heating the plane. They make it very cold inside, and we start to put on our polar gear, parkas and boots and pants to kind of prepare us for getting out of the plane in Antarctica. So that's kind of a cool little tidbit of information as to how this all works when you fly to Antarctica. Now, they did assure us that we will all have a window seat on the plane, which is fantastic. I do not imagine I will ever take my eyes off the window. We'll be looking out the entire time. I'm going to try to film the entire time. I'm sure everyone is going to be doing that. So that is good. I do want to say that for a long time, especially towards the beginning of the final experiment, flat earthers were stating that if we fly to Antarctica, that the plane would not have windows, and that was just never the case. That was just never true. And so I have noticed a pattern, which is a little frustrating. Maybe this happens on the globe side as well. I don't know, but people just throw out these wild claims, make videos about them, and then when they're not true, I don't hear anything. I don't hear, oh, you know what? I'm sorry about that, Will. I shouldn't have said that. I didn't have any evidence or proof of that. I just said it. But anyway, yeah, the plane will have windows, and we'll be looking out the windows and we'll be filming out the windows. What else? We are so far south down here in Punta Arenas, Chile, that we have a golden opportunity. I would call this a once in a lifetime opportunity to be this far south in the world. So, South America, the southern tip of South America, where we are, is further south than Australia. It's further south than New Zealand. It's even further south than South Africa. And so, this has presented itself as an unbelievable opportunity for us to test the models, test the globe, test flat Earth, do experiments. Now, I'm a little bummed about this, but I want obviously the final experiment to be collaborative. That's been a theme. And so I was hoping that the experiments that we've been doing out here would be collaborative as well. As soon as we started doing some various experiments, which I'll talk about in a second, we did invite the flat earthers to join us, and they did not respond. So anyway, bummer, but it's okay. I'm hoping they've been doing experiments as well, because think about it. On a flat Earth, the further you travel south, which again is away from north and the North Pole, lines of longitude get further and further apart. There was a really cool situation where there was a marathon in Antarctica yesterday, and this marathon runner was at the hotel. We were talking to all of them before they left for their flight. They're at Union Glacier before us running a marathon. And he was like, hey, this is so interesting to me. I didn't really realize flat Earth was a thing and that there are flat earthers. Can I talk to one of the flat earthers that's part of your group? And I said, sure. So I asked Austin if he would talk to him, and he did. And they just had a really good conversation. And Austin even talked about one of the arguments for flat Earth is that the time zones don't make any sense if we live on a globe. And I agree with him. Time zones could be a little bit more clean if, uh, you know, to make it easier for everybody. But it's so confusing and daylight savings and all these weird lines. But anyway, Austin was making the point that the further south you go on a flat Earth, it gets bigger and bigger and wider, and the distances, between lines of longitude are bigger and wider. And so, anyway, that's something we can test down here, being this far south. And so, that was one of the experiments we did that I was super, super excited about. So I can't wait to share those results, which we will share eventually. We haven't even had time to crunch the data yet. It's been just a complete whirlwind. It's just something's always going on. And we have extended daylight hours out here, very significant extended daylight hours. We're experiencing practically 17 full hours of daylight. And so, you know, everyone out here is like, okay, we want to catch the sunset and we want to film it. And it's like, okay, well, that's happening after 10 p.m. And then everyone wants to catch the sunrise and film it. And it's like, okay, that's happening before 5 a.m. or around 5 a.m. And so it's just so difficult to get sleep in and to do everything that's required to prepare to fly to Antarctica and make sure all of our gear is ready and devices are charged, and it's just a lot. So, but anyway, it's great. It's great. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. But yeah, speaking of sunrise and sunset, we have had just totally cloudy weather, crazy clouds. And so that's been a bummer because we really have wanted to try to document where the sun is, right? I think that this is very common knowledge that on a flat Earth, the sunrise and the sunset should be more northeast, northwest. And on the globe, it should be southeast, southwest. Again, something that we can test by being this far south. And last night, we were out very late. We had a group dinner. Three of us actually ordered eel and had eel. So that was interesting. You could try to guess who the three were in the comments below. And if you're right, I'll go ahead and pin your comment. But anyway, we were out late and I just had this feeling I wanted to try one more time to see if I could get a sunrise, because the sunrises have been happening behind thick clouds to where you can't even see the sun. And so I went ahead and went to bed and set my alarm for 5 a.m. and gave it my best shot. And I ended up waking up around 4:45 a.m. and it was already very bright outside. It was so bright I was certain I slept through my alarm, but I looked and it was 15 minutes before my alarm, and I was like, okay, this is phenomenal. So I quickly jumped up, threw some clothes on, ran outside, brought my drone, and it was very quiet, even though it was bright, just because it was such an early morning. And I looked across the street as I was crossing the street, and there was Dave McKeegan. He had multiple tripods set up and he had cameras going, and it was like we both were feeling it, like this is the one. We're gonna get the sunrise. So anyway, I wanted to get it with my drone for a very specific reason. So I put my drone on a street. There is only one street that I can find in the entire city of Punta Arenas, Chile, that is almost exactly east-west. It's almost exactly an east-west street. And so I went ahead, and there was no traffic, no cars. So I put my drone right in the middle of the street and I started recording, and then I launched it right straight up above that street, looking east. So you could see where we were. There's major monuments and landmarks on this street, so you know exactly where we are. And I was like, okay, let's see which side of this street that runs due east and west, almost exactly which side the sun will come up on. And it was just phenomenal. We got the sunrise. We got it filmed. Dave McKeegan actually got sunspots as well on the sun. So we just really had incredible luck to get all of that. So that's some exciting things that we're going to share. Our data for measuring distances between lines of longitude was just tight data. We just kept doing it over and over and over again, even though it was difficult and slow and tedious. We did it with GPS. We also did it manually with a tool that just rolls on the ground and measures distance. So we've got super tight data. Again, a little bit bummed flat earthers didn't do the experiments with us, but that's okay. If they want to and they want us to redo these when we come back after Antarctica, maybe we can do that as well. But we are just taking this as a golden opportunity to just obtain more information to help steer us in one direction. Are the globe predictions coming true, or are the flat earth predictions coming true? Speaking of flat earth predictions, Flatzoid just said recently that there is no southern celestial pole. He said there's no southern celestial pole. And so what's interesting about that is that he is in South Africa. And so he's actually qualified to state whether or not there's a southern celestial pole. How often does someone live that far south? And so when he said that, it was interesting to me, and I kind of took it to heart. And in the video that he said it, I wasn't expecting this, but after he said there is no southern celestial pole, he actually said my name. And he said, I challenge Will Duffy to try to film the southern celestial pole while he is in Chile for the final experiment. So, Flatzoid, what do you think I did? Do you think I was able to film the southern celestial pole? Time will tell. Anyway, this has just been so good. It's overwhelming in a good way. What we've been able to accomplish while we're here. Originally, when I learned that we had to be out here a few days in advance, it was kind of more of a nuisance or of a hassle or a bummer. But now I'm realizing this was completely needed. We needed these days here. We needed to do these experiments. We needed to get all of this data, and we needed time to get good weather for doing these different things, including sunrise, sunset, etc. So super fun. Something else everyone should know is that I did not want to take any chances of not having internet at Union Glacier Camp. Now, Union Glacier has Starlink, but that is for everybody that's at Union Glacier. So if anybody else is there, they get to use it. All of the workers get to use it, and so it's essentially limited and I think throttled to some extent for guests. It's not just anybody can use it whenever they want. And I was like, man, it would be such a bummer if we go down there and we're not able to live stream and come to you guys live from the ice. So I went ahead and purchased a Starlink, but to get Starlink in Antarctica, you can't just have a regular Starlink. I had to buy this massive one, which is almost the size of a full checked bag for luggage. And anyway, I was like, man, I hope I can do this. So it was very heavy, very big, but I was like, I'm going to sacrifice and I'm going to bring it. So I brought it in my suitcase. I was stopped in Santiago at the airport. They pulled my bag after it went through these scanners, and they said, what is this? And they didn't know what it was. They had no idea. And I said, this is for satellite internet. I'm going to Antarctica and I need internet. There's no way to get internet in Antarctica other than through satellite. And so they just were giving me the hardest time. And it was a woman I was dealing with. And so I got out my phone because there was a language barrier, and I put in Google Translate, this is a satellite for good internet. And you kind of saw her eyes light up. And so she started Googling Starlink and looking into it. And she said, I need this for myself. And that makes sense now that I'm here, because where we're at in Chile, the internet is very slow, very difficult to utilize and to get things to upload and download. So anyway, once she understood satellite internet, Antarctica, she was like, all right, you're good to go. So she let me take it through. So I've got this Starlink that I'm bringing, which is going to increase the chances that we're able to live stream with everybody. Because again, I want everyone to be a part of this. I want everybody to experience this with us and not just wonder and guess what's going on. So, anyway, definitely excited about that. A flat earther did tell me that, uh, who obviously doesn't believe in satellite internet, that we would not be going very far into Antarctica and we would be somewhere near the coast. And that coast was going to be fed with internet via underground cables in the ocean and then some sort of land towers. And so that will all be refuted tomorrow. Actually, if you're watching it, it'll be refuted today. Um, when we fly for hours into Antarctica. So we will film that uninterrupted so you can see how many hours we flew into the Antarctic interior. Okay, that reminds me of another thing that flat earthers said when final experiment came out, which is that we would be taking a boat to Antarctica. We would not fly. We are flying. I was told we would only be allowed to go to the Antarctic Peninsula, and that's not true. We're going into the interior. We're going right to almost 80 degrees south. A guy just in the last couple of weeks um, made fun of me online, and he listened to an interview that I did with a flat earther, and he said, you know, this idiot guy Will thinks that they're going to fly into Antarctica and have chefs prepare food for them. And that's exactly what we're doing. So if the chefs allow it, we will get them on camera and kind of introduce everyone to them as well. But we've heard nothing but good things about the food at Union Glacier. They've actually said that they're going to be, you know, preparing food for us for our diets for people that try to avoid certain things or include certain things into their diets. So ALE has just been absolutely phenomenal for us. And so, yes, we will be flying to Antarctica and we will have chefs preparing us food. I know it's a little bit of a shock to the what was the stated paradigm in the flat Earth community about Antarctica being off limits, Antarctica being closed, Antarctica being only for government officials and things of that nature. All of that is just not true. We just had a huge group. I mean, almost 100 marathoners were down in the hotel lobby, and we were talking to all of them about their excitement to go run a marathon in Antarctica. And there was another guy that said that he does this thing, which is 7 marathons in 7 continents in 7 days, and that includes a marathon in Antarctica. So anyway, a lot of things are coming out with the final experiment, which are good because they're going to change the conversation going forward and hopefully create more accurate descriptions of the world that we live in. Just looking at my link here, my list here, sorry. I don't want to forget. I've got so much on my mind that I want to tell everybody. Really cool updates. So someone emailed me, and I'm so thankful. I really need to thank so many people, people I've forgotten about already, because the final experiment is what it is because of you, because of all of you. Anybody that was a follower, a fan, you made comments on videos, you sent me emails. We're here, and this is going to be a success because of you. It's all the little ideas, right? Even flat earthers that criticized the final experiment and said, you know, this isn't going to work because the sun's going to go behind a mountain and all this kind of stuff. All of that was helpful. Every time I heard something, I thought to myself, how can we fix this? How can we make this better? And so thank you for that. But anyway, someone contacted me and said, hey, Will, you should take a drone to Antarctica. And I said, I am taking a drone. I'm a big drone guy. And then he said that I should try to unlock it to go further and to go higher than you can normally go. And I said, I don't really know anything about that. I'm not willing to hack it in any way if that's what he's saying. And he's like, no, you can just make a request. So I made a request with DJI to get a special altitude unlock while I'm in Antarctica. And it's a process. You have to, show them, that you own a drone and that you're an approved pilot and that You also have to show them that you have permission to be droning where you are. And so I gave them the information I have from ALE because they've given me permission to fly my drone there, and they granted the request. So the altitude limits that are on drones normally were unlocked for me while I'm in Antarctica. So this is going to be a sweet opportunity to film Antarctica from a very unique angle with the drone. And so I'm super, super excited about that. And hey, I'm still open. Uh, Flat earthers say that the dome is in Antarctica. And so if the dome is in Antarctica, then we're going to be all the way over here where the dome meets Antarctica. It's going to be super low. And so you never know. If my drone goes up and up and up and hits something and comes crashing down, hey, that would be some good evidence of the dome. So anyway, really, really excited about that. And then lastly, please, if you want to help, this is what I need. I need Globers to be asking flat earthers and making videos about this and just really just saying, hey, please talk to me about this, asking them about the 24-hour moon in Antarctica. This is super, super important to me, as will become obvious in due time. But a second flat earther now has told me that they have no idea how a 24-hour moon would ever be possible on a flat earth, and that they essentially said a 24-hour moon would prove the globe. So I really want to know from the flat earth community, is a 24-hour moon in addition to a 24-hour sun going to be enough for you to finally say, hey, flat earth isn't true, this does confirm the globe, but I need help, because if we don't ask, then they're not going to answer. So globe community, please, please, please help me out with that. Super, super important. And let me know what you hear. And then the flat earthers that are watching, please let me know. Comment below, make a video. I would love for you to make a video. Send me an email and just let me know. Just say, hey, Will, I don't see how a 24-hour moon would be possible on a flat earth. Or if you do think it's possible, explain how. And so, yeah, I'm really, really curious about that. And I do want to say, because there's just been so many questions and people wondering, I have people that I know who have been in Antarctica since November and even late October. And so that's the reality of the situation we are dealing with. When I created the final experiment and it started getting bigger and bigger and bigger, people started reaching out to me, and they're just like, hey, Will, I work in Antarctica, or I'm going to be there for the entire summer season. Can I help? What can I do? I'll be there. And I was like, you know what? You can definitely help me. So I've had 2 people in Antarctica for quite a while now. They were there before us, and they will be there after us, and they're not at Union Glacier. And so they are helping me as well, just get more data, right? If we care about truth, if we care about the scientific method, if we care about the process, it's about getting as much information as we can. And again, I sincerely hope that both sides of this debate, flat earth and globe, really do care about truth, and they're willing to let truth speak for itself. If we find something out and there's evidence for it, and it appears that what is true contradicts what we believe, that's that moment where we got to decide, do we really care about truth, or do we want to just hold on to a belief for something else? Something I hear Austin say all the time: truth does not fear investigation. The final experiment is doing an investigation that is more significant, more in depth than anything I've ever seen done in this debate. So I truly believe that the flat earth versus globe debate will be forever changed after the final experiment. There is no way the conversations will ever be the same. It's just not possible. There's no way the debates will ever be the same. It's just not possible. There are too many things that we are going to experience and show and do together on this trip that what's been said for the last 8, 9, 10 years just won't be able to be said anymore. And so I'm excited about this. This is going to definitely move the needle forward. And again, for me personally, and hopefully for a lot of other people, I do believe that this will be the final experiment. Everything we're doing is going to be completely definitive. And my hope for everyone, because I've now been sucked into this world for the last year planning the final experiment, and 2 years before that, just watching videos and doing research into everything that goes on in this debate. My hope is that uh, regardless if you're a glober or a flat earther, we can all stop wasting our time and wasting our resources debating the shape of an object. This is so elementary, and it just needs to stop. It just needs to stop. There are so many better things we can do for humanity, better things we can do for ourselves, better things we can do for our family and our loved ones than waste time debating the shape of an object. We've got to move past that. When we're kids, we are, before we can talk and before we start learning math and how to write and how to read, what do we learn? We learn about the shapes of objects. We learn to figure out which shape fits in which hole. And so this whole debate has really taken anybody involved backward, in my opinion, and it's just not good. So I want to see lives changed. I want to see the world benefited from this, and I'm putting my heart and soul into this because I do think it will be successful. So, with that said, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. And again, please monitor our channel. Please monitor our website. Our website will update when our flight takes off to Antarctica. And yeah, just get excited. We're gonna be there, and we're gonna bring as much of it to you as we can live. Hopefully everyone on all of their channels will go live so that you can hear straight from their mouth what they're experiencing and what's going on. And we're just going to bring this to you best way we can possible. Just keep in mind it's going to be difficult. We're going to be trying to utilize gear in super low temperatures in a very harsh climate. Batteries are going to die fast, and we're going to have thick gloves on. We actually wear 3 pairs of gloves at a time while we're there, at least a minimum of 2, but depending on weather. And so we're just going to have a lot going on and a lot of pressure to get done what we need done while we have good weather to do it. So anyway, we will pop up live from time to time. I will tell you that the first live that will happen will be on the TFE channel right here. So make sure you're subscribed and have the notifications on so that you get that pop up on your phone that says, hey, they're live right now. We won't really be able to warn anybody because we just don't know when it's all going to go down. But once we go live, that's going to be a super exciting time. I don't know if anybody's ever live streamed from Antarctica before, so that could be another TFE first. So anyway, super excited. Want to thank everyone that has been with us on this journey for months and months and months now. A lot of you have been here since day one practically, and so I just want to thank you all for the emails and the comments and the encouragement and even the criticisms, because the criticisms helped me make this a more robust experiment. So with that, I will sign off. I hope everyone appreciates this update. I wanted to give everybody as much of an update as I could to kind of keep you excited and happy until we are able to go live from the ice in Antarctica. So anyway, stay tuned and hope to see everyone soon. Bye-bye.